Hello everyone, my name is Buster Coyote from Pixabite, and today we'll be taking an early look at Expeditions Conquistador by developer Logic Artists. Expeditions Conquistador is a story-driven, turn-based role-playing game with strategy and resource management aspects. This is similar to games like the Might and Magic Heroes and King's Bounty series, although Conquistadors definitely has a more involved story and a choose-your-own-adventure feel. This was also a successful Kickstarter game that reached and even surpassed their goal last September 12th, 2012, and they are looking to release the game on February 28th, 2013. So, let's jump right into the game. This will be a little bit of a slower game compared to some of the action-based games that we've played before, but I really recommend if you can get through the initial learning curve and startup, this is a fun game for those of you that really like a nice strategy game. So, let's go with a male character. We're going to give our name Buster, and our family name is definitely Pixabite. It's not a very Spanish name, I guess, but you know, hey. We have the different statistics we can give to our main character. So tactics will allow us to intimidate enemies, also can change the starting situation of battles. So we're going to give a couple points there. Diplomacy, not something I normally would go with, but this game really I recommend. It's going to affect our chances of, well, diplomacy, success in negotiations, and cultural exchanges. And that's something we're actually going to do a lot of in this game. Healing will reduce the medicine cost of treating injured expedition members. Not as worried about that right now because, of course, we are the invincible Buster Pixabite. We don't get injured. Survival improves the results of hunting, which we will do daily as we camp. This will reduce the daily use of rations as well, so we don't need to hunt maybe as effectively or as often. Give a 1 point. Scouting will increase our daily movement. Since it is a turn-based game, we will use movement points every day. It's useful. I haven't seen a whole lot of time-sensitive quests right off the beginning of the game. So, you know, it also can give us better information about battles. I'll probably hold off on that. Leadership will bolster our morale of our people, reducing the risk of mutiny. Because I am such... No, you know what? We don't need this. Who's going to mutiny against me? I am amazing. So, you know what? Let's do that. We're going to be a smooth talker. We now get to choose who's going to be on our expedition. We have multiple spots for people, including different genres of people, like doctors. Each one will give bonuses to our main character statistics, too, so you can think about that. Doctors will heal, and they have weapon proficiencies in daggers and rifles. We have the different endurance, which is health, defense, melee damage, plus their critical chance, and how much it... So, like, if we have a 2% of crit, if we crit, it'll do double damage. The range, accuracy, damage, crit percentage, and how much damage it does, plus movement. So a lot of extra stuff that, if you're playing casually, you don't necessarily need to know this. You can just hit auto hire. Boom! Has everybody. It shows who they picked up and how that's going to work out. You can then modify it if you want. But for the sake of, you know, just a preview, how about we just go with the auto hire and we go from there. So this, once again, the soldiers are going to be the melee units. They don't have very good range accuracy, but that's okay. They're melee units. Scouts as well, which are cannot use range weapons. These are the only classes that can't use range weapons. And being a big range person, you know, but you can see also they have really good melee damage and can move 10 spaces. We also have the scholars, which are support classes. Hunters, which are going to be our main ranged unit, and doctors, which can heal and once again have ranged. So a lot of good stuff. You're going to see then, since we have multiple of the different expedition members, it's going to add points to our final statistics. So, you know, I'm okay with that. Leadership, we might get a mutiny, but let's hope not. There is background to the game. It is the year 1518, and before Cortez reaches America, we're actually going to get there first. So the Aztec Empire has yet to be overthrown. So as you can see, it's rooted in kind of a fictional version of history. We are the eldest child of the Spanish nobleman, and we ourselves hold the title of Hidalgo. With your father's backing, you have been a leader of a successful hermandad, meaning brotherhood, back in the old world. A peacekeeping association of armed individuals which protected the countryside around your father's town. We are now traveling across the Atlantic Ocean, and well, we see land. On a clear afternoon, gulls screeching in the wake of your ship, you sail to the port of Santo Domingo, the seat of Spanish colonial rule in the New World. And I'm not going to go through and read everything just because I really want this to be kind of a surprise when you actually play. And not so much a surprise as is the flavor text is what a lot of you that actually purchased the game, and I do recommend the game, you're going to love that part. That is what a lot of these games are for, especially some of these really heavily story-driven ones. Alright everyone, so here is going to be the beginning of the game. We have a lot of tutorial help to help us with the game, and I'll kind of briefly go over it. I don't want to stick too much on it because I want to show you gameplay as well. So this is going to tell us that pretty much how to move. We click and move. We can also disable tutorials if we click the disable and then close. We will have the different things like our menu bar, which is going to be up here, including different settings and such, the follower management, goals, and inventory. We will also have a compass up here, which actually does come in handy, and then also a make camp button, which we'll go over later. Alright, we can also turn the camera with Q and E, or we can use right click and then hold that down and move it around as well. Alright, as you can see, interactive objects will be with the little symbol here. We can also hold Alt to highlight them, which is really nice. So how about we move over and talk to our guy. A little background right now. Now that we've landed in Santo Domingo, the governor has stripped our captain of all of his powers, all of his rank, and, well, our expedition crew that we just went through and, well, we auto-hired, but still, it's a principle. Alright, I will go over the dialogue a little bit. Please bear with me. My accent is going to be terrible and I'm going to probably mispronounce stuff. But this is going to be the meat of the beginning of the game. You can see all of our statistics here, including our equipment, our rations, medicine, and valuables, which is a form of currency. All of them can be traded. Later on, we will get other resources as well that we can manage and trade as well. As soon as we disembark, you're accosted by a group of soldiers led by a tall, heavy-set man with graying hair, dressed in a captain's army uniform. Halt! By order of Governor Bernardo de Manzanedo, I am confiscating your vessel and all her crew and cargo. What? And so these are different things we can say. Let's see if this works. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Does the name Pixabite ring a bell? I don't know why we speak like that. The captain rolls his eyes suspiciously. An intimidating name in Spain, but you are Hispaniola now, and I am taking your ship. Oh, well that didn't work. And he took all of our stuff. Let's see. With what justification, if you please? It typically does not please the governor to give justification for his decisions, but he has instructed me to instruct you to go to the palace and speak to his grace forthwith. Perhaps you can pry an explanation out of him. Ugh. Alright, how about we're going to choose this right here, which is going to be choosing a follower to do stuff for us. I'm going to station one of my people here to make sure nothing disappears. Let's see, how about we do one of our soldiers? Alberto, you're enthusiastic, you do that. You signal for Alberto to head back into the cargo hold, and he nods and takes off. A single twitch by the left eye is all that betrays Noriega's annoyance at your insult. Insult? Whatever. As your grace wishes. Yeah, Tubby, keep moving. My name is Juan Noriega, by the way. Pleased to meet you. Yeah. We'll be nice. Buster Pixabite. So I gather. End event. Now, the nice thing is, now that we're in a city, our movement will not go down because, well, although time hasn't stopped technically, for a game aspect it kind of has. So we're not going to worry about movement. We can move around and do stuff right now. But, well, let's go to the governor's mansion and let's go slap him in the face and take our stuff back. Alright, so we've gained 25 experience completing our first goal or quest, the audience. Entering Alcazar de Colon, you are led to the office of Governor Bernardo de Manzanedo. Oh my god, I'm gonna slaughter these names. I am so sorry. The governor does not seem particularly pleased to see you. No kidding! I noticed that. Ah, Senor Pixabite, I am glad that you could come here so quickly. That's Captain Pixabite. Yeah, well, after you stripped all my stuff, I'm guessing not. What is this all about? Straight to business then. Very good. I know your father by reputation, a powerful man back in Spain, and my accent goes in and out because I am governor, and why not? But this is Hispaniola, and now your answer to me. I will not let a spoiled nobleman's son pay his way to the New World and with his father's money. And I skip over language too because I am an idiot. I have better uses for your men and supplies than to waste them chasing after foolish dreams of fortune and glory. Do you understand? Those are my people. They serve me. The corner of the governor's lips curls up condescendingly. They serve the Spanish crown, and here, I am the Spanish crown. Your men and your ship are going nowhere without my permission, and you'll get no such thing as long as this colony is under threat. Well, just let me go finish the threat. I am a warmongering menace to society, and then we'll go on. The fact of the matter is that your troops are needed here. We have been having some problems with the natives recently, and our suspicion is that various groups of them are preparing for insurrection. You would do well to serve your king and his representative in this matter. It's a hard word to say. Let's see. You know, it will be nice to this... God, where's the slap him button? Nonetheless, I will gladly help you put these savages in their place. If the governor is pleased by your servility, well, he doesn't show an admirable job of showing it. Well. Good. Go down to the fortress and find the quartermaster, Umberto el Rosso. That doesn't sound like a Spanish name at all. He will insist to test you, and I am afraid nothing I say will convince him otherwise. When he is done with you, return to me, and we will discuss how to proceed from there. I'm going to come back with equipment and smack you upside the head. Once again, warmongering menace. Hello, my name is Buster. So we're going to go over here and click over. The nice thing too is you can left click and it shows where your pathing is going to be, which can be useful later on. And you can double click, well, on a terrain that's movable and go from there. Once again, we're going to hold Alt and up. There's our buddy. Or we can turn this around and take a look as well. Finding the fortress is not difficult, and now that you're no longer in a hurry, we have time to take in the new city from your way there. Find Umberto. You find Il Rosso smoking a pipe in the shade, evidently enjoying the warm climate while he watches some soldiers train in the courtyard. He addresses you with a very friendly voice. So you're the new arrival. I saw your ship come in. I dare say it's quite impressive. You must know the right people back in the old world. You notice that his accent is distinctly Italian. Well, as much as an American can do an Italian voice that doesn't do very good voiceovers. From somewhere about Firenze. Well, you've heard that name before. If your ears do not deceive you. Governor Santo sent me here to take command of my people. Let's be nice, okay, for once. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Signor Rosso. Did Manzanedo genuinely call me that? I never thought that old Stronzo would drop the formalities. My name is Umberto de Rossi. It's Italian, but nobody calls me that except the governor. And I suppose he finally started using his nickname as well. My nickname as well. No matter. Let's see. What does El Rosso mean? It means the red, but if it's all the same to you, I'd rather not go into how I came to acquire that name. I'm throwing ill-gotten means. And what may I call you, Capitan? My name is Buster Pixabite. Irosso's face is split by a wide grin, and he extends his hands. He extends his face, yes, to shake hands. Man, Italians are weird. Very good. It is also a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Pixabite. Thank you. Manzanedo sent me here to take command of my people. If you'll excuse my facetiousness, they are not currently your people, Capitan. However, I will be happy to release them into your command once you have shown me that you understand what it takes to command Spanish men and women in battle. They're my people! Anything less would be irresponsible of me. Okay, fine. Very well, if it can be no other way, I suppose I can use the practice. It also spreads his arms and then loudly claps his hands together in a sweeping motion. That's the sort of attitude I was hoping to encounter. Here are most of your people to be done unloading their equipment from your fine ship. Why don't we go ahead and divide them into two sides? I will lead one group, you will assume command of the other. Let's see how we do and how I can do. So we're gonna kill our own people. Good times. That's great. You know what? So we get to choose 3 people. Let's take Federico. He's going to be a scout, so he's not going to have ranged weapons, but he's going to have nice high damage melee. And let's take Bonita and Gabriela. And these are going to be good ranged units, because, well, this is how I like to play games. Now, the nice thing about this game is you can do different things, such as using doctors and other such units, or playing defensively, more aggressively like I play. It's all really fun. This is some of the most fun I have in the game. As much as I love the story, I do love the combat. It's going to be a turn-based hexagonal map, I guess is one way of saying it, and we take turns while shooting each other in the face. So we've triggered a battle. Our people are going to be highlighted in blue, the bad guys in red. So right here you can see the different circles around them. Red means we still have an action. Blue means we still have a movement action. And the different movement areas is going to be the area we can move in. So the light green means we can still attack, or we can move all the way into the dark green to get to give up our action and but be able to move faster or farther, to be honest. We can also switch between melee and range. Everybody can do that except scouts because they can't shoot. And let's see. So we have Federico, our scout. You can see how far he can move, 10 whole spaces, which is amazing. We also have our range attacks, which are our hunters, which all depend on line of sight and distance. So the farther we are away from a target, the less accuracy we will have. Being behind certain things like here is going to give us partial cover, which reduces the accuracy. It'll also show it down here. And then also some objects provide full cover, such as right around here. This is the taller thing, and pretty much you're not going to be able to hit anything behind it. So I accidentally misclicked outside of that during the thing, so let's give him some full cover. So since we've moved all the way into the dark green, he will no longer be able to do anything. So let's move you here, which is actually highly unfortunate that that happened, actually. So it looks like we're going to be fighting a doctor, a soldier, and another hunter. Let's shoot, because right here, as you can see, during the line of sight, right about here, it actually hits line of sight fully, and he's going to be behind full cover. So let's shoot our soldier. Ooh, missed, damn. And we'll stay with you. We're going to move you now. Once again, the portraits up here will tell. See, there's still move commands with the blue, and action commands and move commands with our buddy here, Federico, because he has red and blue. So let's give him some cover too. So this is all stuff that I just mentioned. We can also end our turn with the hourglass, or we can click the right flag to retreat if we think we're going to lose the battle. No, that's not going to happen. Let's see. Sword and shield. We can get more character info, which at the moment he has no status effects or passive abilities. And then also their different abilities. So Feint can, it uses our attack action, has a 1-turn cooldown, and can move directly through a hex occupied by an enemy. This makes, then make an attack on them. So really cool stuff. Later on, you'll figure out more why that's a good thing. Also, we have tactical moves, which allow him to move past or away from enemies without provoking attacks of opportunity and spotting traps. So a lot of cool stuff. This game is very, very oriented to someone that wants to figure all this stuff out. It's not that hard either. It's if you've ever played like a Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop game, this will just be all right at home. Once again with flanking strikes. So if we place 2 units directly on the opposite sides of an enemy, we'll get flanking strikes, which does increased damage. Also, if we move past an enemy, we will get an attack of opportunity on us. So if I moved here, since he's connected, and then move again, he'd be able to attack us because, well, we're stupid enough to run by a guy. Also, we can use tactical moves to avoid that, but it costs us our action point for the turn. Making a ranged attack against a melee ranged unit will also provoke an attack of opportunity. So pretty much in layman's terms, keep the ranged guys away from the melee guys. Each unit can only make 1 free attack every turn, or an attack of opportunity. So we can always just use up all the attack of opportunities and then continue. Moving out of melee range also does an attack of opportunity. So once you engage, you kind of want to stay engaged unless we use a special skill to get away. Exploit this, such as the range units and the attack of opportunity area, so the location of control, as I call it, to exploit them and then be able to attack range units easier. So pretty much move a melee unit up to a range character, and he's kind of stuck there. All right, so he's under full cover, full cover. Let's move here. Shoot him in the face. We have a 78% accuracy, as you can see at the bottom of the tooltip, and damage roughly around 20 to 25. Boom! So we got the higher end of that, which is good. And we will move back behind cover. So jump out here. Shoot him in the face. Ah, dang, missed. Alright, let's engage. Go, Scout, go! 34 to 41. Nice. Once again, the higher end of it. And I'll move back behind. Oh, that's the attack of opportunity since we moved outside of his melee range, but he missed point blank, which is awesome. And now he'll have full cover. We're going to end our turn. Doctor's going to heal him up a little bit. We're going to get another miss. Nice. Ooh, okay. So Hunter took some damage. Alright, so each of our characters has a set of abilities, which you will see in the top right once I choose them. There are 4 major types of abilities. The attack action, the move action, the full turn action, and a free action. our attack actions can be used instead of an attack. Our move action can be used instead of moving. A full turn action completely goes through the characters, both attack and move action. And free actions every once in a while, which are just free, we can use. Once again, everyone, this is a lot of information to digest. For characters and people that are used to this, it's not such a big deal. But even if you're not used to this, trust me, it's a lot easier than it sounds. There's a lot of great tooltips in the game to help walk you through. If we have any people that are injured, we can select a doctor, which we don't have on our side right now, and restore, which is a heal, which you saw just a little bit ago. Alright, you know what? We're going to... let's run up to the doctor. Boom! There goes half his health. I like that. Range unit. See if we can get the doctor killed all the way. Okay, so once again, we're going to jump outside of cover. So we have... oh, no full cover. Okay, move. My guy was blocking me. My line of sight, once again, that is big in this game. Okay, let's get behind covers. All right, you go there. You know what? We'll leave him there. I don't want to risk an attack of opportunity, even if it is the doctor. You don't know, actually. The doctor shouldn't do much damage, even if he hits. Yep. Whiff. So there we go. I play a little recklessly. But that's what I've always liked playing as. Nice, they're just whiffing terribly. So even though I'm playing a little worse this time around, since the first time I played, they're playing worse. Which is fine with me. We're going to go up and beat our doctor in. Oh, poor guy. He's one of ours, so it's actually kind of bad that we're doing this. But Capitan, why? Because I don't like you anymore. Shoot in the face. And kind of get a little bit of cover. Okay, full cover. You know what? Let's jump over here. Ah, missed. Try to grab some full cover again. Oof, in the face. I'm surprised they can take so much damage. So you can see the AI is really trying to use... oh, God, I feel so bad. He's just squirming on the ground. You can see the AI is trying to use cover, which is really cool to see. Some games like this, they just send wave after wave of enemy at you, which is fine with me. It makes the game really easy, because then you can exploit that AI. But luckily, the game uses AI slightly better. So we're going to rotate our camera. He has full cover, so let's get some cover as well. And end our turn. Woo. That cover. Run up. Because he is a range unit, he is going to get the kick out of him. Yep. Ooh, dang. Come on, buddy. You're better than that. Boom. There we go. Leave him there. So he's going to be forced to do melee range. And because he is a hunter, his melee range is going to suck. So, well, we've pretty much all but won this. Boom! Okay, now we have won this. So we didn't actually take anybody dead, and we're going to do a little bit of a dance. Now, for some of you wondering, okay, the animations seem a little fast. I've actually increased the combat speed by 2 times. So I actually like a little bit faster combat. And that's something that the game's put in, which I really, really love. For those of us that are maybe a little less patient, we now actually have a full ability to increase the combat. Nonetheless, De Rossi trundles across the battlefield to meet you, whipping the sweat off his forehead. I can't speak today. Well fought. You are quite the tactician. Well done indeed. Your people are free to join up with you if they wish. I have no qualms about letting you take them. And you can tell the governor I said so. I hope this is not the last time we will see each other, young man. We nod appreciatively. You respond with a smile and a tired nod, and De Rossi pats you on the back. Then he lights up his pipe and walks back to his place in the shade. So, we have control of our people again. Stupid frickin' Santo Domingo, taking our people in the first place. So we're going to go back and tell the governor to bite us. Returning to his palace, you're made to wait for an insultingly long time with the governor finishes some allegedly important responsibilities. We're going to luckily hang out in his lovely garden and think about what's going on. Oh, yes, good. I take it you passed whatever test De Rossi has divided for you. Then, I expect you will be pleased to know the perfect opportunity has turned up for you to serve the people of Santo Domingo. Ugh. Well, let's be nice. My troops and I are at your service, Governor. De Manazedo smiles. I screwed up his name again, as I keep doing. As you have may surmised, several problems encroach upon our control over this island. most urgently, our supply lines to Santiago de los Caballeros into the north are being disrupted by a native cult of pagans that we suspect is using some old ruins in the deepest jungle of the island. Our supply lines must be secured, or the people of Santiago will soon be severely threatened by the slaves and the rebels. And the troops of Santo Domingo have allowed this to go unaddressed. Captain Noriega refuses to take his troops anywhere near those ruins, and in any event, they cannot be spared. They are needed to protect the city against the slaves. Well, I have no such superstitious misgivings. Where are the ruins located? East-northeast from here. That way, the jungle gets denser and the ground turns swampy. The ruins are somewhere in the middle of it. Bear in mind, we know next to nothing about this cult. We don't know what kind of people they are or how much of a fight they'll be putting up. I suggest you catch them by surprise and cut them down first. There'll be plenty of time to find out what they've been up to later. Shoot first, ask questions later. That doesn't seem like a great way to govern. Well, we'll see what the situation looks like when we get there. So he waves us to go away, and, well, he doesn't really give a crud. Nice. Nonetheless, as we leave the governor's office, you are met by a young woman in uniform. Captain Buster Pixabite, Isabella de God, I can't even pronounce it. Uranus? At your service, I will take you to the docks and oversee the transfer of your cargo into your possession. Take her hand and kiss it, of course. As you do, we lift up her hand to your lips and kiss it gently. She blushes ferociously and conceals a smile behind her hand. Follow me, please. Ah, look at us, that charming bonus that we have. So we're going to go over here, grab our supplies back, finally. We're going to thank you, De Rossi, for giving us back our stuff. And then we're going to go through a little bit of this. It is De Rossi's actual daughter. Go through and we get our stuff back. So you can see, you can definitely go through this. We're going to actually leave as soon as our supplies have been loaded onto our carts. We're going to go through once again the flavor text. I don't want to waste too much of the surprise and the flavor text on just the preview. I want you to actually go through the game. So we now have access to different spots in the game. We're opening up the main game so we can trade resources. And yes, I know how to do this. Different ones will be different values. So you can see right here the resources in low or normal demand. The merchant seems to have fair prices. So something of higher demand, we'll be able to get stuff from him that he has a lot of. Also, we can go over here and we can attend a sermon. So there we go. Different things can be acquired from here. And we can wait for Noriega to yell at us some more. We know what we're doing, Captain. Are you done yet? Yeah, that's what I thought. So Noriega does not like us, but, you know, hey, who cares? Here's going to be our inventory of what we have. Also the follower management, which we can promote and equip followers, changing them from different ranks. And then also we can have up to 2 sergeants and 1 lieutenant, which can really help out. So different skill points, equipment, a lot of cool stuff. This game is highly customizable. I really recommend, if this is, once again, a game that you really think you can sink your teeth into, which you will have to if you do, I really recommend picking the game up. Pretty much the only things that I would recommend is that you know what you're getting into. That would be my one thing that I would say is maybe a negative to the game, is that it is very heavily story driven. Now that we're not into the story as much, you'll be able to do, you know, action-y stuff and run around collecting resources such as this, but there are going to be heavy story elements. So I warn you, you know, right off the bat. So now you can see that our moves are going down because we're outside of the green area, which is the city area. We can go around, though, picking up different items and resources. Some more resources here. And we pretty much have free reign over the game now to do what we want. We are going to go try and get to the ruins, though, eventually, and solve the quest. You still have to do quests. There are side quests in the game and side fights you can do as well. So how about we change the camera around a little bit so you can see. There we go. And we are now out of our moves. So what we can do is make camp. Well, because that's what we have to. So our camping tasks are going to be divided up into different things, which I'll show you in just a moment, such as hunting, patrolling, guarding, herbalism, and preserving. Preserving will preserve the meat that we have so we can actually hold on to it longer. Herbalism can create medicine from the different things that we have. Hunting will allow us to pick up more meat. Patrolling can patrol for different items out and about and around, and guarding from attacks. Once again, if this is something that sounds, well, a little too difficult for you, we can auto-assign. And you can see if they're good at it, the difficulty as well. So the guarding in this area and hunting is going to be a little harder, so we have more people for that. Also, we'll need to then give out rations to people. Giving multiple rations to someone can actually increase their morale, which can increase their ability in different aspects. So we're going to auto-assign once again. Everybody's going to be able to eat. We have plenty of rations. See, only 10 are going to be consumed of the 70. So these are our different percentages that we're going to have because of the rations and their actual ability to do stuff. So we'll camp. Everything went fine, and we'll continue on. More loot we can take. So let's keep moving along. Okay, here's our map, and as you move along, you'll actually unveil the map. Here are different things that we can actually talk to. This will be different quest markers. The active quest marker will be up here a little bit more, and then also different things such as towns, and then ruins and temples, which is where we need to go right now. Oops. There we go. So let's go this way. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Our next spot. Okay. We will camp once again. Everything. You can also just auto-camp, and it immediately camps for you, and you just move on, which is really cool stuff, too. So once again, you don't have to. Our expedition consumed 10. We're remaining 9 meat spoils because we don't have any preserving it. So it gives you a little heads up, even though you've auto-done it. So once again, we can hold Alt. Obviously, if you didn't notice that, we can go here. As we approach the ruins, a sound of a low, primal chanting emanates from somewhere among them. At the edge of the jungle, where the trees open up into a clearing, you stop your men and signal for them to stay low and out of sight. Let's assess the risks posed by this cult. Go through. Most of the pagans are unarmed, but weapons arranged within reach, mostly bows, with also some shields and obsidian swords. So, we're going to withdraw to return at dusk. You know what? Let's approach with our weapons sheathed. As you appear from the edge of the jungle, the nearest pagans shout out in alarm, and soon a half dozen of the cultists are forming a semicircle around you. Their weapons are ready, but at least they're not pointing them at you yet. Though their face paint and outfits are nearly identical, you guess that the leader is probably the woman, who wears a slightly larger headdress. I mean you no harm. I am here to learn about what goes on in these ruins. The pagans don't seem to understand a word of what you're saying, though at least they understand that the general intention enough not to raise their weapons. After some quick whispering within the group, one of the younger ones runs off and returns a few, with the very 10 minutes later, with somebody who speaks Spanish. Yes! Good. I don't, so maybe she can explain this to me. You repeat your words and the woman you pegged as the leader finally takes a single step forward. I am Kasigawaya, Kake of this tribe. Oh, I'm so terrible. You are a tribe? You have interrupted our ritual of cleansing. What do you want from us? Cease your ungodly activities here. You're interrupting the trade between our settlements. What is this ritual about? Every year, we bring the preserved heads of our elders here. We arrange them around this holy site to call upon their spirits for protection. Then we create a bonfire and dance around it while performing the mystical chants of our ancestors. Man, she's very forthcoming. This is an ancient ritual that has been passed down for generations. It is unique to our tribe. Diplomacy. Once again, because we're so good, it's only easy. That sounds benign enough. I must ask you, however, to leave these ruins tonight after your ritual is finished. Behind you, Blanca erupts with indignation. Captain Pixabite, surely you do not mean to allow these heathens to go through with their ungodly ritual. Not now, jeez. Kasigaya turns to discuss your request with her tribesmen. Then she turns back with you a grudging nod. Very well. We thank you for your respecting our traditions, and in return we will vacate this site tonight as soon as the ritual is complete. You thank her and leave her and her tribe to their peculiar rites. So, now the problem with that is, well, our our religious person is going to have a problem with that, and depending on what we choose, we can, well, fight or not fight, such as right here, we went through with, because our diplomacy was high, we were able to get through it this way in a non-threatening and non-confrontational way. But we still completed the quest. We could have fought, but, you know, hey, I thought it would be nice to try something a little different. But now we've also posed a little bit of a problem with one of our members that, well, doesn't like their pagan rituals. So once again, everyone, if this is a game that you like, there's 20 to 25 hours to complete. There's a hot seat multiplayer mode in the game right now, and they're also working on implementing a network multiplayer via TCP, IP, and LAN in the works. So this is a game that you're going to be able to develop and also invest a lot of time into. Also can be replayed many times because, well, all the different quests, as you can see once again when we hit the map, and the different ways of completing the quests. So if you're interested in supporting Expeditions Conquistador and developer Logic Artists, check out the information in the video description below. And also find them on Greenlight and give them an upvote because, well, I think they've put a lot of time into it, and I like the game myself quite a bit. Ooh, uh-oh. Dun, 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 dun. The auto camp. So, Captain Pixabite, thieves have snuck past our guard. They're stealing our supplies. Man the defenses. Don't let any of them escape. Let's see. Let's bring up Doctor, Hunters. We're going to go with Scouts. And a soldier. So, my friends, feel free to give out some of this love. You can place barricades before the battle starts. So now that we have a little extra stuff going on and the games commence, we're going to have a lot more stuff available to us. Whoa! Hey, we let you do your ritual. You need to back off. But if you are interested, please check out the video description below and give them the upvote and green light. And to keep up to date with me and my side projects, please follow me on Twitter and at HJTenchi. So everyone, good hunting, good diplomacy, and please, please, please choose the right way of doing things, like slaughtering the natives. As always though, thank you everyone for watching. My name is Buster KOD, and we'll see you next time.